Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about the MLS round of 16 matchups. We're finally here. I feel as though this tournament just started, and now group stages are done. A lot of stuff happened in those group stages. A lot of teams disappointed, a lot of teams impressed, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, if you guys are new here and you guys love soccer and you want to get the growth and respect it deserves, and you want to try to help make that possible, then subscribe down below and, be part of it. I'll give you 3 seconds. All right, without further ado, let's just get to it. Like I said, group stages in the MLS is Back tournament are done, and they were very eventful. If you're going to say it was boring, then you're crazy, bro. That means you don't love MLS, you're just a hater, because this was actually a really, really fun bundle of matches here in the group stages. There was great drama, there was great controversies, there was great upsets, and just really crazy games. Now, the big stories from the group stages, I believe, is that some of the big teams in MLS did not make it through to the round of 16. Those teams, of course, LA Galaxy, New York Red Bulls, and finally, Atlanta United. Now I'm going to make a video about Atlanta United and Frank DeBoer probably tomorrow or the next day on Sunday. And make sure you guys are subscribed so that way you guys can, be part of that video and see what's going on with the team and hear your boy Drew's thoughts on that. But yeah, those 3 teams disappointed like crazy. I think personally, Atlanta United was the worst team in this tournament already. You guys might think LA Galaxy was bad or Inter Miami, but LA Galaxy was able to get a point and score some goals. Inter Miami, even though they had no points and finished bottom of the table, they were at least able to score some goals. But Atlanta, 0 points in all 3 games, scored 0 goals, conceded 3, a goal in each game. Not being able to score a single fucking goal. How crazy, bro. What a boring team this turned out to be. Their rise was so quick as they rose as quickly as they fell, is what I'm trying to say. Because they were like the hype team. I'm getting too much into that. We're going to talk about that probably tomorrow. But for right now, let's talk about some other surprises in the group stages before we move on to the round of 16. Number 1, big apology to Ohio soccer fans out there, because I thought Cincinnati and Columbus Crew were not going to make it out in my predictions of the group stages a couple videos ago. I really picked Atlanta and New York Red Bulls to get out of that, but it turns out that Ohio had other plans. Cincinnati and Columbus Crew going through. Columbus, I think, the highlight of the whole group stage. I think they were doing tremendously well. They have a great team. I think they are one of the contenders to win this whole thing and go, just win the whole thing. All right, a lot of people are picking Seattle, LAFC, Toronto, but my pick is either one of those guys or a Columbus Crew. Sorry, Philly fans, I know it hurts for me too. But we'll get to that in a second. Some other good surprises. Orlando City, really topping their group, just barely off, goal difference over the Union. They impressed me as well, because I really didn't pick them to go through. DC United, also a team that really disappointed, but New England and Toronto coming out of that group strong. And other than that, everything else is kind of more or less the same, kind of basic. LAFC, you expect them to go through, so same thing with Seattle. With all that group stage nonsense out of the way, let's move on now to the round of 16 predictions. Starting off with Orlando City and Montreal Impact, happening tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Saturday, on ESPN, I think. Whatever, who cares? Orlando City hosting Montreal Impact. Montreal Impact just barely getting to the round 16. They were one of the few better third-place teams that were able to go through to the round 16. They made it through in goal difference, I believe. They only had 3 points, so they just barely got through. If Houston won their game against LA Galaxy, I believe Montreal Impact would not have gone through. But now they're here, and they're up against Orlando City, the team who topped Group A. And a team who's been in really good form. They have a lot of confidence. They're playing well. They're solid in the front and the back. I think that this is an easy pick right here. Orlando City is going through to the quarterfinals over Montreal Impact. Probably 2-1 win. Next game we have that same day on Saturday is New England Revolution against my boys, Philadelphia Union. Now this, like I said, is going to be a tough game to call, because both of the teams are playing good. They're pretty solid. Bruce Arena, Hall of Famer manager here against Jim Curtin for the Union guy. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Union. I'm not trying to be biased, but I think, in all the games that New England had, they only scored 2 goals in the group stages and only conceded one goal, which is pretty good. They have a pretty good defense. But Philadelphia Union was able to score more goals than New England. I just feel like they're playing a little bit better. They got a little more flair in them. Brendan Aronson doing great. Keeps getting better and better and better. Like, this guy's attracting more and more interest from not just MLS media, but around the world. Really trying to get him signed in the Bundesliga is what I'm seeing. And of course, Andre Blake at the back, goalkeeper. I think he's the best goalkeeper in this tournament right now. Don't at me. Alejandro Bedoya as well, doing well in midfield to lead this whole team to victories. So I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to Philadelphia Union. That's my boys. On Sunday, we got Toronto FC up against New York City FC. New York City, another team, third place in their group behind Union and Orlando City. Coming up against group leaders, Toronto FC. I also picked Toronto not to go through for some reason. My predictions for the group stages were kind of like terrible. But I have faith in myself now after watching all these teams play. I try to watch as many games as possible, but it's so hard when they're so late at night and you got to work like at freaking 5 a.m. in the morning every day. Trust me. It sucks. But I have been watching as much as I can, highlights as much as I can, and from all that, I know that Toronto FC is going to absolutely steamroll New York City FC. They're scoring lots of goals. They're on point. This team is great, playing well, lots of confidence. Even without Josie Altidore in some of these games, they had Ayo Akinola leading the line, scoring friggin' hat tricks, scoring every game, like scoring tons of goals. Like, this guy is crazy. And I hope he chooses to play for the USA. If you're watching this, bro, I hope you choose the USA, because we need a good striker who can hold the ball, good hold-up play, and score some great goals. And he has been doing that for Toronto so far this tournament, and I think he's going to score some goals against New York City FC. So for New York City FC, New York City fans out there, I think your fate is set. Next up, we got Sporting Kansas City up against Vancouver Whitecaps, a tie which I think is going to be pretty simple or pretty easy to predict, at least in my opinion. I think group leaders Kansas City are going to be winning over Vancouver Whitecaps. I think Shelton and Alan Pulido are going to be able to take Kansas City over a win against Vancouver Whitecaps. Vancouver Whitecaps, I think they played decently. I mean, they were okay. They were lucky enough to get through on off goal difference to the knockout stage. It could have been Chicago Fire, but Vancouver Whitecaps, though they conceded more goals, they were able to score more goals, and that's what helped them get through to the next round over Chicago Fire. But I still think Kansas City is in better form, better players, better pizza. Kansas City is going to win. That's my pick. Next up, we got San Jose Earthquakes up against Real Salt Lake. I think this might be another easy game to call. I think San Jose is going to go ahead with a win here. Undefeated in their group. Showing a great resilience up against Seattle in their first opening game. Showing great resilience again and refused to be defeated against Vancouver Whitecaps in that 4-3 win, which was an absolutely crazy game. And then obviously dismantling Chicago Fire 2-0 to close out the group. I think they're going to have no problem dismantling Real Salt Lake, who started off the group stage good with a 2-0 win over Colorado. But of course, after that kind of just went downhill. 0-0 draw against Minnesota, and then a 2-0 loss against group winners Sporting Kansas City. I think Real Salt Lake played okay from the games I was able to watch, but I think San Jose is in better form right now. They're playing with better confidence. Wondolowski, a leader for them, the best MLS striker of all time, looks to be in good form. He's thinking about not even retiring because that's how good San Jose have been playing right now. And I think with all that, San Jose is going to go ahead with a win over Real Salt Lake. Next up, we got a mouth-watering tie here. We've got LAFC up against Seattle Sounders. I think for some people it might be pretty hard to call, but for me, I just really see LAFC wiping the floor with Seattle. I think Seattle did not have a strong group stage, opening up with a 0-0 draw against San Jose, then losing their second game 2-1 against Chicago, and then obviously, dismantling Vancouver 3-0 at the end to close out the group stage. But I think that LAFC had a better group stage, scored a lot more goals than Seattle Sounders did. 3-3 draw against Houston, 6-2 win over LA Galaxy, which was fucking crazy. LA Galaxy sucks now. And then close out the group with a 2-2 draw against Portland Timbers. But this team, it looks to be coming into themselves. They're playing good. They're scoring a shit ton of goals. Diego Rossi is in great form, scoring 4 goals against LA Galaxy. Bradley Wright Phillips, again, also scoring some couple goals in the group stages. I think they're going to have an easy time scoring against Seattle Sounders. Probably concede a bit, but I think they can outscore Seattle. That's the key. They have to outscore, and I think they have better strikers and goal scorers than Seattle do. And if I'm wrong, if I predict this wrong, you guys can come back here and hate me. But I think LAFC is going to go through against Seattle. Probably a 4-3 win. I think it's going to be a big scoring game. All right, who do we got next? Oh, there we go. Columbus Crew up against Minnesota United. Dude, Columbus Crew surprised the hell out of me. I thought this team was not going to get through. And if they did, I thought they would get through their group, coming in 3rd place, especially with New York Red Bulls and Atlanta United in their group. So you can't really blame me too much. I didn't have too much hope for them, but they proved me wrong terribly. They're leaving this group undefeated without conceding a single goal and scoring 7 goals. Yazzie Zardes, the guy we all hate on, 4 goals to his name. I think he's going to be the key player, obviously, going into the game against Minnesota United, who only got 1 win in their group and then 2 draws. I think they're playing pretty solid and decent, but I think Columbus Crew is in better form. Players are playing better. They're just a better team. They got the more confidence goals going forward and scoring. They got better players to score with. Yunus Mokhtar as well, another player who scored a couple goals in the group stages. I think they have enough firepower to get through past Minnesota United. Finally, the last game we're going to see here is going to be Portland Timbers against FC Cincinnati. Again, Cincinnati, like I said, a team that I thought was going to finish dead last in this group. You can't blame me. I just, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who thought that, considering the people in their group. But they're up against Portland Timbers, a team who's been pretty ruthless so far in these group stages. They've been played in good form. Jeremy Ibobise is in tremendous form, scoring in every single game yet. Cincinnati, while I think they had a bad start, they definitely finished good with a 2-0 win over New York Red Bulls and then a 1-0 win over Atlanta United. They certainly got the players to bag out a win, but I think the game against Columbus Crew, even though it was the first game back from the break, they really got dismantled badly, a 4-0 loss to Columbus Crew. And I think Columbus Crew, obviously a better team than Cincinnati so far, I think. And I think they're kind of on par with Portland Timbers, and I feel like Cincinnati coming up against a team like Portland Timbers, they're going to be a little bit over their heads. So I think Portland might have a way to get out of this tie and go on to the quarterfinals. But that's all I have for you guys today. I would love to know your thoughts and predictions on this quarterfinals. Is your team going to go through? Is your team out of the tournament? Let me know down below. We'll have a nice chat about it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for kicking it with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.